Pumpkins by Mary Lynn Ray, illustrated by Barry Root. Once upon a time, there was a field. It was a particular field in a particular place, where it lived among young hills that would grow up to be mountains. Across from this field, there lived a man who loved it. One day, a sign appeared in the field. It said, "For sale." The man knew what that meant: bulldozers, houses, streets, and streetlights. The man cried. He wished he could buy the field. Then it could always stay a field, but he had very little money. He counted what he had, and it wasn't enough. So the man sold his furniture and his paintings and his silverware and his pocket watch. He sold everything he owned except his bed and his stove and his bathtub. Still, he didn't have enough. What could he do? The man talked to the field, and the field said it would help. They considered growing Christmas trees, which the man could sell in the city, but trees grow slowly. There wasn't time. They considered growing cows, but they would need a barn and milk pails, which they didn't have. Then the man thought of pumpkins. The next day he went to the farm store and bought an envelope of seeds, which he scattered in the field. The rain came and wet them, the sun came and warmed them, and they grew. Soon the field was covered in pumpkins, and they grew and they grew and they grew. When it was time to harvest, there were 461,212 pumpkins, which the man planned to sell for $1 each. That would be enough. He rented 1,400 trucks, 37 boats, and 800 airplanes to carry them away. A rug merchant lent him 100 flying carpets for the rest. The man got an atlas and looked up all the kings of all the countries. Then he telephoned them and told them he was shipping them some pumpkins. Where there were democracies, he called the congresses. Every king and every congress he talked to said the same thing. Why should their people want pumpkins? They didn't know about jack-o'-lanterns. They didn't know about pumpkin pie or pumpkin muffins or pumpkin ice cream. Many of them didn't even know about vanilla ice cream. So the man wrote 461,212 tags to tie to his pumpkins and explain what they were for. Luckily, he knew how to write in many languages. Then he sent the pumpkins out. When they arrived, these round, orange, heavy, bumpy pumpkins, people read the tags and they bought them. In Dundee, West Ham, Darlington, and Motherwell, in Shanghai, Fuzhou, and Bangkok. All over the world, in Kiev, Killarney, Khartoum, and Tashkent, and Quito, Quebec, Cairo, and Cadiz, there were jack-o'-lanterns being carved. There were pumpkin pies baking and muffins muffining. Now the trucks and boats and airplanes and carpets emptied of pumpkins returned to the man carrying dollars. He had enough money to buy the field, and he had some extra which he used to buy new furniture to replace what he had sold. But he didn't replace the paintings because he had the field to look at. And he didn't replace the watch because he had the sun and the stars to tell him when it was day and when it was night. The man might have planted more pumpkins. He had kept one back for seeds. Pumpkins would make him rich, but he had everything he needed. So he decided to give the seeds away. Because somewhere, someone might love another field that pumpkins could save.